Welcome to the Period Besties Podcast with Stasha and Katie. Think about it as chatting with your best friends about all the TMI stuff you've never talked about before with two period coaches who've been helping hormones collectively for over 20 years now. I'm Stasha.
And I'm Katie, and we're pulling back the curtain on what it's like in the world of menstrual coaching. From puberty to menopause and everything in between, we're here to show you how period coaching can save the day. We'll share practical tips and information you can put to immediate use to improve your hormones and happiness.
We're removing the mystery, ending the taboo, and shining a light on just how powerful period coaching can be.
So whether you need period coaching or are considering becoming a period coach yourself, these episodes are going to help you. We'll share stories, coach live on air, and bring smart, savvy guests to share their wisdom too. Let's start today's episode.
Welcome back to the Period Besties Podcast. We are on a roll with delicious things to eat that are hormone supportive and full of good foods and nutrients and all that sort of thing. We've done breakfast. We've done lunch. Today we're going to talk snacks. Snacks are just an integral part of life, in my opinion. I can't live without my snacks.
I love snacks. All I can think of is snacks. I don't know. This like song in my head. I love snacks. I love snack packs. I do not leave my house forever for myself and or for my children without having a snack pack. So we have this like little lunch box that has a cooler at the bottom, and there's always snacks in there. So I'm going to share what's in my snack pack with you all.
Oh my God, I love it.
I love Vermont meat sticks.
Oh yeah.
I don't like any other meat sticks. And some people say that they love the chomps more than the Vermont meat sticks. I think it's like figuring out which one you like the best, but Vermont meat sticks are my favorite. So I always have a few in there because it's my snack pack with my boys. Devin also loves the Vermont meat sticks. I really have been craving cheese lately. And Trader Joe's has these little individual packets of the cheddar, but they're rectangle versus like the mozzarella cheese sticks.
Uh-huh.
So I like the cheddar, and then my son Brady likes the mozzarella. So I put cheese in there, always nuts in there, and some sort of fruit. So whether it's raisins or mangoes or bananas, always some sort of fruit, so that we're always having protein with some fruit, getting some more fiber in my diet, my boys' diets. If we're being super fancy, I'll get the little small container and throw it in there, the individual packets, or I'll just throw whatever hummus we have in the fridge, but it's getting pretty full. So it depends on how much room we have left. And then I'll throw like some carrots in there too as a snack pack. But I have to have snacks for myself and for the boys at all times. So we literally have a snack pack, grab and go. And because it has the cooler, we can kind of add different things in there that might not be okay in this weather, depending if it's hot.
Yeah, that sounds quite identical to most of my snack packs. We lived out of the car, right? So I digital nomaded for about 6-7 years. And then post Panini, we just drove around the country, basically out of our Honda Element that we converted. And when we lived off of snacks, it was cooler with an ice pack in it that we would freeze whenever we could. It was always like, eat the things that'll go bad first. But yeah, we did a lot of hard-boiled eggs, and Chris, not such a fan of the hard-boiled eggs. Those were more for me because I needed the protein things. But I also do the meat sticks. I get the chomps. We call them purse jerky. So whenever I am out, I can text Chris and be like, pick up some purse jerky. And he knows exactly what I'm talking about. As a gluten-free person for over a decade, you learn quite quickly that the odds of there being food that you can eat are slim in a lot of circumstances. So my purse always has at least 2 of those meat sticks in them. And then often like a Kind bar or something just in there to have. But I usually grab an apple, a banana, a couple of oranges, some kind of fruit. Cheese as well. We often get the Tillamook ginormous block from Costco and then chomp it down into snack sizes. Or Jarlsberg is another one we'll do that with a lot because they both travel well. And then, yeah, nuts. I do a lot of mixed nuts. I can't eat walnuts or pecans. I can have one or two, but then my mouth just starts to itch. I don't know if it's the geographic tongue that I have. I have talked to other people with geographic tongue and they say pineapple and walnuts bother them as well. So that might be it. But I do know some people have that. So I often do almonds and cashews. And then I might throw in a handful of chocolate chips to just give them a little extra zhuzh and fun, or dried fruit in there or something like that. So I can make my own trail mix essentially, but it's raw almonds and cashews. Though when we were really traveling, we used to get the Trader Joe's ones that's roasted almonds, cashews, and chocolate chunks. And then we would get one that's their raw trail mix that's raw nuts. And then it has, I think, raisins in it, which I'm not a huge raisins fan, but it was a nice way of keeping a good balance between the roasted and the raw nuts in there. Yeah. So definitely very similar with that. Often at my desk, I have a little crystal, probably candy bowl from the 1920s or something. I don't know. But I often keep the like mixed nuts in it with some dried fruit and maybe a handful of chocolate chips in there on the desk as my kind of like little treat bowl. And carrots and hummus, celery and hummus. I try and do my carrot a day, the raw carrot a day, right? Because it helps bind that excess estrogen and flushes out the system in a way that other fibers don't. So I often try and keep a raw carrot in my snack mix for the day. And that will a lot of the times be just hummus and carrot in the kitchen while I'm making lunch or while I'm preparing dinner or something like that, or sitting at the computer working on some back end of office stuff, having a little snack and doing some bookkeeping or whatever. So I do like to do that, and throwing in some celery, cucumber, what other snap peas, whatever other veggies are in the house. But I almost always include a carrot in my snacking each day just to get that raw carrot in, or peanut butter. An apple and peanut butter, rice cake, peanut butter, banana is a huge luteal. Like I have cravings for that when I hit deep luteal with the rice cake, the peanut butter and the banana on it. But yeah, or the apple and peanut butter is a huge one as well.
I really got into rice cakes recently too. I feel like I used to eat them a lot, and then I like went years without eating them. And I had one recently and I was like, oh, and I added the peanut butter, added the bananas. I was like, oh, this is like so satisfying. I love it. Trying to think like any other snacks that I'll do. Energy bites. So I feel like this is something I do more in the fall. But the boys and I will make like energy bites, and I have to be really careful because I want them to save. I want to be able to eat them for the whole week, and they're easy to eat like 20 at a time sometimes. Maybe not 20, but I feel like the boys can eat a lot. But I love doing energy balls and bites and things like that. Those are a great snack that I'll give to the boys too for them to bring to school. But for some reason, I don't make them in the summer. I don't know why it's a fall thing, but every fall we like make more of the energy bites.
I do think that we shift things seasonally. I'm definitely like, I love guacamole as a snack. I often do a little guac and some chips for a snack. And we get into winter and that cold guacamole is not. Also, the avocados get a little tough to find. I resort in the winter often to getting the cups of avocado from Costco. But yeah, it's definitely something that as the winter shifts over, I find myself eating more of the rice cakes and peanut butter and mixed nuts, those kinds of things. Whereas in the summer, I'm often more inclined to eat the hummus and veggies cold, or the guacamole and chips cold, that kind of thing. So it's definitely seasonal. I super find my snacking is debased around how cold it is or how hot it is outside.
Because right in the summer, we make smoothie popsicles.
Oh, yeah.
So putting a lot of fruit and greens and some protein in there, peanut butter, almond butter, whatever it is, but making the popsicles. So that's probably why we don't make the energy bites in the summer, because we're making the smoothie popsicles. And then the fall, it's not as hot. So we're making different things that are a little bit more fallish. Cause I think I love adding pumpkin to the energy bites. That's probably why. And we are so busy in the summer. Like we're not really, we like bake and do a lot more in the fall and the winter. We make more breads and different things like that versus in the summer. We don't want to heat the house up.
Yeah, same. I've noticed that I make my buckwheat bread more in the winter up here than I do in the summer. In the summer, I forget about it more, which is weird because in LA, I had it constantly, like every meal. It was one of my favorite things. And for whatever reason, just in the summers, I forget about it up here. But in the winter, I'm like, buckwheat bread. And that I often make snacks out of, like a slice of that buckwheat bread with a slather of avocado and tomato or melty cheese or smoked salmon or a little tuna salad or a little chicken salad or something on top. That is a great snack that I end up doing in the winter a lot, where it's just like a slice toasted with some delicious thing on top. And it's like a little, not really very pizza like, but it does have that just walking around with a slice in your hand feeling to it. And that's one of those warm winter snacks that I quite like, where it's nice and toasty. And then if I want to put something cold on top, like tomatoes and avocado, fine, but also something warm, melty cheese and smoked salmon or something like that can be perfect in the winter.
Really good. And definitely some bone broth. I do a lot of bone broth as a snack in not the summer, the winter and the fall.
Yeah.
And even early spring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really takes until it gets hot outside for me to be like, okay, I'm over the bone broth. I really like that as a snack. It's such an energy booster too.
Definitely.
One of the first things I substituted out was the afternoon coffee for the afternoon bone broth, and the difference that it made in how much like brain energy I had in the afternoon was a substantial difference. It was one of those first changes I made that I have stuck to this day, is that kind of 2:00 sugar crash when typically you're reaching for caffeine or a cookie or something. I started reaching for a mug of bone broth. And then if I still wanted the cookie or something, I was like, okay, fine. But I've had some protein, bone broth. That was good. So I would do that. And I found that that craving really diminished substantially with a mug of bone broth, which is also nice because in the fall and winter, it's almost always going. There's a dedicated crock pot to bone broth in the house throughout the fall and the winter, because I use it so much with soups and stews and sauces in the winter, and I don't use it nearly as much in the summer. So not that crock pot gets put away a lot, but in the summer it does get put away occasionally.
Yeah, no, same. We definitely don't use a crock pot as often, but it actually makes sense to use it in the summer because you're not heating your house, but we're just eating different types of food. But I love all these ideas. And very similar, but I think the main inspiration behind sharing snack ideas is to remind all of you to, if you're hungry, have a snack, have a healthy snack, try to have protein as part of your snack so you can hit your protein goals for the day. Always pair fruit with a protein so you're keeping your blood sugar a little bit more balanced, but lunch to dinner is a longer window than breakfast to lunch for most of us. Most of us are going to need a snack, especially around 3. When you're starting to feel a little tired, low energy, you're probably hungry. So getting some protein in there is going to be so helpful in keeping you energized for the rest of the day, so that when you come home and either you're making dinner or you're waiting to eat dinner, you're not just what sometimes I do because I'm hungry. Like I'll just eat a lot of random things because I'm starving. And I'm like, oh, I should have just had a snack today because then I'm not hungry for dinner. So this is a good way of just getting that protein in, keeping your blood sugar balanced. So when you come home, you can not just eat so much food all at once.
Right. Or you don't get hijacked by your cravings and end up eating an entire bag of chips.
Oh my God. Yeah. Which is so easy to do.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And especially in that mid to deep luteal phase, early menstrual phase, of course, depending on how your body is, I think I snack there's a week out of the month, maybe the last few days before my period and the first few days of my period. I'm not sitting down to a meal. I'm sitting down to 10 snacks in a day. So don't underestimate the power of a snack to just keep you in a nice, steady, happy blood sugar space where you're fueling yourself and you're nourishing yourself, and turn to the snacks that are a little bit healthier, like you said, full of protein, good healthy fats, that kind of thing. And pair those fruits with some protein as well, if that's what you're moving towards. But yeah, I'm a snack all day kind of girl in that part of my cycle. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what helps reduce cramps. It helps stave off brain fog. It helps keep my energy levels stable and decent during the day. So don't underestimate the power of a day of snacking. There's nothing wrong with that. I know we're in this kind of 3 meals a day world, but sometimes you need to do things differently for yourself. And I get endometriosis. I have the worst cramps. But if I eat and I keep a steady stream of food coming, those cramps are a lot less. They're a lot easier. And especially if I'm putting ginger tea in between all of that. So do what you need to do for your body. Do what feels good for you. What helps the brain fog, the fatigue, those kinds of things, stabilize the blood sugar. Don't underestimate the power of a snack.
Nothing better sometimes. Thanks for joining us.
We call that a snack-sized episode.
Yeah, it's snack. Thanks for joining us. Let us know what snacks you love and tag us, share with us, and we'll see you in our next episode where we are going to talk about our favorite things to eat for dinner. See you there. Bye for now.
A big shout out and thank you to our sponsors for today's episode, Period Coaching School and Katie Bresek Wellness.
Thanks to you, our favorite bestie, for listening to the Period Besties Podcast, where no topic is TMI. And of course, share this episode with your besties.
Remember to leave us a 5-star review, nothing less than the best for us besties, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
You can follow us on Instagram at Stasha Washburn and at Katie Bresek, or email us at periodbestiespodcast@gmail.com.
Check out more about us at katiebresek.com and periodcoachingschool.com. And of course, check the show notes for free goodies and extras that support this episode.
We'll see you on the next episode.
Bye for now, besties.